Hello, Steve here. I've got an update from yesterday. Yesterday AMD has released a statement, and what it basically says, they will be, within sort of 48 hours, they will be releasing a public driver for the RX480 to do with the power draw problem, and that will be a driver. If I can find where it says on the screen, Radeon software will please report that the driver Radeon software 16.7.1 is now undergoing final testing, and that was yesterday. So that will be Thursday. So right now we're looking at a timescale of about Thursday for the new driver 16.7.1 that will address the power issues. Now, it doesn't really say, the statement doesn't really say much. It says this change will lower current drawn from the PCI Express bus. Now we know that because that's what they told before. That's what they were going to address. There's a couple of ways that they could address that. They could throttle the card. They could undervolt certain things, which would basically mean that the card would be performing exactly the same as before. It would be running a slightly lower temperature, and it will not be drawing the same amount of power, obviously. So that is a possibility. You may not know, but some chips can run different voltages, and they can run, for example, that's not exactly about this card and stuff and what the chips are inside, but there are some, for example, CPUs that you can undervolt. That's, let's say it's 1.3 volts, you can undervolt them to, let's say, 1.2, and it will still perform exactly the same as it before, but it will draw less power and it will be running cooler. So you would have benefit of that. So that would also reduce the, for example, the fan speed. So that fan would be drawing less power also. It can be done, and that will reduce overall power consumption of the whole card. I mean, they can throttle. The other way is they could throttle the card. So let's say it draws 155 watts, and it'll basically stop the GPU from going any higher than that. Now that's probably not what we want to hear, and I suspect that might not be what they've done. I suspect what they've done is they reduce the power consumption of the individual chips on the card, which would be probably the best way of doing it. Now it says they introduced they gave a user's compatibility UI toggle in the global settings of the Radeon settings, and that would reduce power. That option is probably quite good for people running sort of things like media center PCs and stuff like that, and that will help, because obviously those sort of PCs that they're sort of for video rendering, for things like that, so you can like playback video and stuff. It's not exactly for games, so that will be, and they are basically people basically try to get them as low power consumption as possible, and it looks like they also tweaked some games and stuff. So you have like it says architecture yield performance uplifts in popular game titles of up to 3.5%. Like when they say up to 3.5%, we're not looking at 3% or 3%. We're not looking at 3%. We're looking less than 3%, obviously. When they say 3%, that's marketing jargons. Improved performance of the Radeon RX480 and should offset the performance impact of users who chose to activate a compatibility toggle. Yeah. So you can still play the games with the compatibility mode and stuff, but it really makes no difference. They are committed to have high quality performance products and will continue to provide users. Yeah. That's all good and dandy. So yeah, I was gonna do some benchmarks of games and stuff on Tuesday, but since they're not releasing the drivers yet, I'm going to hold off. I'm going to hold on till about we're probably looking about Friday maybe now. So once the drivers come out on Thursday, that's what we're looking at timescale wise. I'm going to use those up-to-date drivers, and then I'm going to put my graphics card into it. In the video there will be my specifications. It's an AMD build I've got, so that's why I'm going to put the specifications in the video with the benchmarks. And those benchmarks, don't expect any sort of compensation for temperature or anything like multiple benchmarks. There'll be one benchmark run, that's it. So there will be no averages or anything like that. I might do average of a couple of games or something, but I'll see how that goes. I don't really do this for professional. I just do this for fun. So yeah, hopefully the drive will come out on Thursday. That's Thursday UK time, not somewhere else. They haven't given the time scale, so it could be any time during during Thursday. So it could be 4 o'clock in the morning. It could be 12. It could be 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Who knows? So look forward to Thursday or Friday. Probably Friday by the looks of it. So okay, that's about it. And thanks for listening.